Now, let's talk about scope in JavaScript. Scope in JavaScript. Okay? The first thing we need to know is, what is the meaning of scope? What is the meaning of scope? Scope is meant to define boundary, the extent at which you can operate, the room where you can operate, the space given to you to do whatever you want to do, defining the extent, the boundaries. In JavaScript, we have scope. We have two types of scopes in JavaScript. We have the global and the local scope. Under this local scope, we have two scopes that are involved. That is the function scope and the block scope. Okay? Now, what are we talking about? Local, global. Look at it very well. I want to show you a program. I know we have not done function. Don't worry, we are going to do function in great details. Don't be confused about what is here. I just want to show you something. Okay? If you see the word block, we are talking about this. That is curly brace. This block we are talking about is talking about what? Curly brace. The space between these two curly braces, the opening and closing, is the space we are talking about, is the block we are talking about. Take note of that. In this place, as you can see here now, let's behave like JavaScript, as if we are the interpreter. We are reading this line of code. This is the first line, second line, third line, just like that. And it's coming from up, down. As you can see this now, it's not inside curly brace. This is not inside curly brace. As it's moving like this, it says curly brace here. Then after the curly brace, some other line of codes. Now, this one, you are seeing in this place now, there is a block here. This is what? Function scope. With this block inside of it. But outside this function, we have all these other statements that are not inside block. These are called what? The global scope. These are what? Global. Not inside any block. So, we are using these two things. That is, we are looking at this global and local scope on definition of what? Variable. Now, we're going to see the reason why length was introduced. Look at this again. Where you will still see the block scope. This is for loop. In this for loop, you can see this and this. This guy now is operating inside the block. I'm just talking about block now, okay? I have not done anything. I have not said anything. Just telling you about block. I want to show you this. This is do-while statement. You can also see that we have block. All these are operating within the block. This is if statement. In this if statement, you can still see this. So this guy, they are inside the block. So what are we talking about? We are saying, therefore, any variable you declare with var is accessible everywhere. Look at it now. I'm going to look at this now as my program. Okay? Instead of using curly brace, I'm going to use this as a house. This is a house I am building inside this program. This is a line of code, line of codes, and there are line of codes here. And this is what? The block. What we are saying is this. If you use length to declare a variable inside this curly brace, inside the block, that variable is not accessible outside this block. Okay? If you use var to declare a variable inside the block, it is accessible everywhere. If you use constant cost to define a variable inside the block, it is not accessible outside the block. What we are saying is that the only thing that this guy outside this block can see is var variables. But the length and constant variable are not visible to them. They can't see them. Also, whatever that is going on inside here, these guys can't see what is going on outside except var. Listen. What we are saying, I am in the block. It's like in the prison. I don't know what is going on outside. Those outside don't know what is going on inside, except you are var. I want to ask you a question. If you have prisoners, you put in the prison, the only person that can go outside and come inside is the prison warder. The prison warder. They can enter inside and come out. That is Mr. var. Can go outside and come in. But this guy, length and constant, they will be here. So, the length and constant inside block are different from the const and length outside the block. But var is open. The only exception for var is function scope. That is here. This function scope. If you use var here, if you use var here, it is not also accessible to guys outside. It's like it's in the prison when it comes to function. But the for loop statement, the do while statement, the if statement, all those ones, var is accessible everywhere, everywhere. But when it comes to function, when you use var inside a function, it behaves like length and constant, not accessible for guys outside the function. Okay? This is very important.